just speak to me. They tell you things that no one hears and no one sees. What is the truth that we all want from you? You're constantly afraid and always take the blame. With faith I won't fail, I just need a sword. I openly provide and constantly prevail. I'm not a curse but a godsend. The greatest king allows this, set forevermore. My country I adore. You will be the saddest creature here. You tell us lies of things that you have never seen. We know what we can trick you on. You swear to tell the truth, no matter what we prove. With faith I won't fail, I just need a sword. I openly provide and constantly prevail. I'm not a curse but a godsend. The greatest king allows this, set forevermore. My country I adore.
Hello and good evening. Tavern Tales proudly presents Story Time, beginning in a moment. This is our 4th week, and we're starting in on Chapter 19 for those following along at home. That's on page 109. Can't believe it. We are 1/3 of the way into the novel, and things are picking up. We have met all of the central characters and none of the bad guys, so I anticipate things are going to get very hectic very soon. So, without further ado, let me turn things over to our wonderful cast. Autumn Dang as Jane, Velvet Vine as Fernanda, Paige Fossheim as Star, Kerrick Churria as Andrew and a bunch of others. Nicole as your guest moment, who will speak for like 3 seconds and then sit back and listen to the story for the rest of the time because none of her characters have made much of an appearance. And Marisa Roggeveen, who is playing pretty much all the old people because I thought that was hilarious. And without further ado, let me turn it over to them.
I take a break. This last week was the absolute craziest week of my entire life, and honestly, I'm not sure if I can handle much more. I stay home, watch TV, and catch up on social media posts. I do some light working out and text Fernanda a little, but mostly I want to hide. When Sunday rolls around, I'm ready to do the same. Sunday is the day my mom absolutely insists that we spend as much time together as a family. Sometimes I thought it was boring, but right now I want boring. It's afternoon, and my brother Peter puts on a movie.
Watch this. He's gonna say, I can't believe you would do this to me after all we've been through together.
The lead character in the movie then says,
I can't believe you would do this to me after all we've been through together.
I groan. This is why no one else in the family will watch anything with you, I say.
I don't need anyone else to watch movies with me as long as I have you.
How very sweet of you, I say. The movie ends with a very anticlimactic fight scene with a really bad fight choreography. One drawback of studying the Haruka Soul Fist, or any martial arts, is that fight scenes stop being cool unless they are really well done. We both check our phones during the fight. Then the hero gets a girl, says a piddling one-liner, and the credits roll. Peter, he hits the menu button on the remote and brings us back to the selection screen.
What next? Another C-level action movie or a B-level romantic comedy?
Asks Peter. Both sound terrible right now, I say. Peter wins.
Right, sorry. I didn't think about that. There's a documentary on the Saxons I would love and you would hate.
He suggests. No thanks, I say. I look around the house. It's quieter than it should be for Sunday family day. Daniel's with Hannah working on wedding plans. James and Dad are in the den watching the other TV. Both of them are fanatical about baseball, and there's a really important game today. Mom is in the kitchen working on dinner. She told me to have a day off, being her sous chef. I think it's a combination of how tired I am and how proud she is of my successful dinner with the Clarks. I don't know where Henry is. I haven't really seen him since the confrontation at the clan center. I feel kind of weird about it, and I wish we could talk about it. But I know that until he's ready, I'm not going to get a chance. So it's just me and Peter watching movies. It's been a while since we've done this, I say.
Yeah, I know. But my semester is wrapping up soon. I'll be graduating and then I'll have a couple of months off.
You don't have to run off and do some sort of research internship or, I don't know, start your PhD early,
I have to finish my master's degree first.
Peter says with a grin. Okay, smarty pants, I say.
I am sure you're sick and tired of people asking you this, but are you doing okay? You know, with this weird situation?
I think so, I say. It's a lot to go through all at once.
I understand. A little bit.
I consider that. Peter came out at the same time he started dating his boyfriend, Marcos. It was pretty turbulent considering that my mom wasn't exactly accepting of the situation. It took about a year for her to really get comfortable with it. Peter had to balance maintaining his relationship with her while navigating his first romantic relationship at the same time. Yeah, I guess you do get it. More so than anyone else around here, I say.
I'm sorry. Relationships are complicated enough. I don't wish any extra stress on anyone. I'm sure you have enough people butting into your life, but if you need to talk, I'm always available.
He says. This is a pretty monumental moment for my brother and I. Peter's closed off, very private and reserved. It's not that I ever doubt he loved me or anyone else in the family, but he didn't really express it. The fact that he was going out of his way to check on me and offer emotional support means a lot to me. I actually feel a tear in my eye. I don't want to cry now and make him feel weird about it. Thanks, I say. He gives me a business-like hug and starts browsing through movie menus again. I get up from the couch. I'm getting snacks, I say. You want any?
You're gonna risk getting a snack out of the kitchen while mom is in there?
No way. I'm going to get them from my secret stash.
Cool Ranch chips, if you got them.
I start walking towards the stairs to head up to my room when I hear a knock on the door. I walk over and open it.
Hi.
It's Star, on my doorstep. Hello, I say. We stand there awkwardly for a moment. Star is dressed in a camisole with a beautiful purple flower print and a pair of white shorts. She has these adorable leather sandals on with turquoise stone set in the center. Her hair is pulled back into a ponytail, but it's a perfect model level ponytail, the one you would see on her official album art or our Instagram posts. I'm wearing an oversized beat-up hoodie Daniel got me when he first went to college.
Are you busy right now?
Star asks. No, not really,
I was just wondering if we could talk for a little bit.
she says quickly. I think she might be nervous, but I can't tell. And that wouldn't make sense. Why would Star be nervous?
Unless I'm interrupting something.
She adds. I don't know what to do. A week ago, this would have been the most exciting moment of my life. But now I want her to go to get as far away as possible, like another continent. But curiosity is pulling on me. Why is she here? What could she want to say and talk about? Sure, come on in, I say. She does, looking around the living room. She slips her adorable shoes off and sets them down with the rest of ours in the front entryway. Star, this is my brother Peter. Peter gets up and is all manners, a polite smile and a handshake, and a hello, nice to meet you.
Oops, sorry.
It's nice to meet you too. I'm,
Jane's boyfriend's girlfriend. Yes, I'm up to speed on the situation.
He says with a deadpan expression. Star smiles with her maximum shininess, I think to try and diffuse the situation. I just laugh. Ignore him. His sense of humor is drier than burnt toast, I say.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
She says. Peter grins and sits back down. I motion towards the stairs. Maybe my room would be a little bit more private, I say. We head up. My room is the smallest of everyone. Since I'm the only girl, I've never had to share, but the trade-off is that it's pretty cramped. I have room for my bed, my dresser, and a really small desk that is just a platform for me to dump things on top of. I grimace. I'm not naturally very neat, and there's a bunch of stuff everywhere. I scoop up a pile of clothes and shove them into my hamper, and start to make the pile on my desk look neater. Sorry, it's a mess, I say.
Don't mind me. I'm the one who came over unannounced. It's fine, really. Don't trouble yourself.
It'll just take a second, I insist. I make my bed in record time and then take a stack of papers off of my desk chair. I turn to ask her where she prefers to sit. And then my stomach drops to the depths of the earth. Star is looking at my wall, which has her tour poster from 2 years ago. I'd forgotten that it was there.
You have my poster.
She says. Yeah,
I didn't know you liked my music.
she says. I feel really awkward about this, but I can't shake the sense that she's feeling equally awkward. I don't know how to navigate this with any finesse, so I decided to charge forward with the truth. I'm a huge fan, actually. Star's eyes widen.
Really?
Yeah, especially your last album. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you. I wouldn't have guessed that about you, but I'm honored.
I shrug. I didn't want to come across as a weird fangirl, I guess. Plus, our first meeting was pretty complicated.
Yeah, it was eventful to say the least. That's funny though. Why would you tell me that you're a fan now?
Huh? Why wouldn't I?
Power dynamics? If you're my fan, then you're admitting that I have something over you, that I can influence you in a way that I didn't know before.
I frown, trying to follow her logic. I guess this is how the Arcasi must think about the world, always looking for the upper hand. It's not that different than us Haruk ranking each other's battle strength, I guess. I don't lie very well, I say. Plus, that poster was only available to people who pre-ordered the deluxe version of the Fight Me For It album. It came with a poster, a collector's edition CD, an MP3 download code, behind-the-scenes booklet on how the album was made, and a personal thank you note from you. I'm sure you know that, so what would be the point in trying to hide it? She smiles. For the first time since she's arrived, she seems a little more at ease.
Those are all good points.
Did you really sign all of those personal thank you notes?
Yeah, I did. Took me like a week. My hand was so sore afterwards, but it was really important to me that those be authentic.
I get up and open my desk drawer and pull out a small piece of paper and hand it to her.
You still have yours.
She says, shocked and delighted. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. My brother always thinks that it might be worth something someday, so it's also a bit of an investment. Star reads the note.
Jane, thank you for being a fan and believing in me. Fight for your dreams. Love, Melody Starlight. If I had known it was going to come back to me, I would have put a little more thought into what I wrote.
She says. Nah, I think it's perfect. It's simple and honest. We finally sit down and she chooses the bed, so I take the chair. She's back to looking nervous, her manicured nails flittering across her gold bracelets.
I wanted to get to know you and to negotiate some sort of truce. No, wait. That's not even how I want to phrase it.
Star frowns and sighs.
See, words like truce and contest and winning keep popping up, but we don't have to think of it like that. Our clans are being very antagonistic towards each other, but you and I don't have to. We can be friends, or at least friendly.
I'm surprised at this, though I'm not sure I should be. Star has only been nice to me and Andrew, but I still feel unsettled. Being truthful has worked so far, so I decide to keep going with it. It's hard for me to trust you, I say.
Why?
I can't figure out who you really are. I mean, there's Star, the girl I met a couple of days ago. Then there's Estelle Arcasi, the chosen girl from the Arcasi clan. And then there's Melody Starlight. This is really embarrassing for me to say, but your music has meant a lot to me. Your last album saved me in middle school. That was a really awkward time for me. And even though I have family around and a community like the Heruk, it still felt like nobody really understood me. Your songs were like my therapist. But then I find that you have the power to make me feel whatever I want, and I wonder how much of the person I admire actually exists.
Do you want to find out?
She asks. I think I do, I say.
The only way to know is to get to know me.
She has a point. Okay, then I guess we're gonna be friends. Or friendly. She smiles brightly, and her whole body relaxes with relief.
Your brother is nice. Is it just the two of you?
She asks, leaping right into the next conversation. No, I have 4 older brothers.
4?
Yeah, Peter is number 3.
Where are the rest of them?
It's with his fiance. James is with my dad downstairs watching the baseball game. I don't know where Henry is. He tends to do things on his own.
What's it like to have such a big family?
She asks. I guess I like it. It's always busy and loud, so you're never lonely. Privacy can be an issue, but it's gotten better as we got older. It helps being the only girl, too. Do you have any siblings? I asked.
No, only child. Though I think lately my father is regretting that decision.
Why do you say that?
I'm not just a member of the Arcasi clan. My father is one of the clan leaders.
She says with a dramatic emphasis. I just shrug. My uncle is a clan leader, I say.
Are you expected to follow in his footsteps?
No, not really. Most things in my clan aren't hereditary. They're more based on who wants to do the job. If they're capable, they do it.
My clan is run by whoever can outsmart everyone else.
Star says.
A lot of what you hear about my clan is true, honestly. There are plots within plots within plots, and everything is some sort of political maneuver or trick or trap.
That sounds...
Terrifying, exhausting, insane?
Yes, I say.
It is.
She says.
Not every single member of the clan is always out to get me, but the ones in charge are. My family has been in the upper echelon of the clan for generations. There are some very explicit expectations that I keep it there.
Is that why you're interested in marrying Andrew?
No, I meant what I said. I do want a meaningful life. That's why I went into music in the first place. I wanted to get away from all those political expectations. But no matter how famous or successful I become, there's always a way to be dragged back in. I think my father let me pursue Andrew because he thinks I'm going to use my position as mother of the next guardian to further our family in the clan.
What do you mean that he let you? I asked.
How many people competed to get to date Andrew in your clan?
She asked. Compete? I was chosen. Honestly, it came down to the fact that there aren't any other girls my age in the clan.
Even outside of the city?
I hadn't thought about that. The Haruk clan is spread all across the world. Certainly, there had been another girl my age who would have been more willing to partake in this weird marriage dating game. Why didn't the clan do that? Because my uncle was trying to make sure I was involved? Or was it simply because we in the Haruk clan don't think politically like the Arcasi do? I don't know, I say.
For us, it was a huge deal. Daughters from every important house in the clan showed up. A few who were already betrothed even offered to sever their ties in order to become the guardian's wife. And I'm not talking about girls engaged to CEOs and investment bankers. I'm talking about girls who engage to literal royalty. These are girls who have spent their entire lives refining their skills so that they can marry as high as possible.
But they chose you, I say.
Yes. Just because I don't like the game we play doesn't mean I'm not good at it. It took some doing, and I had to promise my father a lot of things I wish I didn't.
Like what? She looks pained.
I wish I could tell you, but some things I have to keep to myself.
I understand, I say. It was interesting to learn all about Star and her plan, but we have to acknowledge the fact that we were from different clans, and the clans have secrets. It wasn't like I was about to teach her how to use the soul fist, after all. I hope you don't have to do anything too terrible, I say.
It sounds like you already know my father.
She says with a laugh.
Don't worry, I can handle it.
Is there anything I can do to help? She tips her head a little bit, letting her golden ponytail sway over to her left shoulder. She's examining me with those aqua blue eyes, and I start to feel a little uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable because she's looking at me, but uncomfortable because maybe she actually sees me for who I am. It's not a sensation that I'm used to,
You're very different than I thought you would be.
she says finally. I guess I can say the same about you, I say.
See? We're getting somewhere.
We sit in silence for a few moments, staring at each other. I can tell that she's thinking about something, but I can't figure out what.
What do you like to do for fun?
She says suddenly. I spend a lot of time training. I know that sounds kind of lame,
It's not lame if you love it.
she says. I laugh. Andrew said the same thing about me. I think the problem is that I can't easily share it with other people. I can train with other members of my clan and with members of my family, and it's fun to share it with them. But it's not like I can share it with Andrew or my friends.
Yeah, I understand that. But there has to be something else that you like to do.
Watch TV? I say.
I like TV.
Peter and I were going to watch another movie downstairs, if you want to join me.
Sure. Oh, I mean, I'm not intruding on something, am I?
Sunday is family day here at the Choi household, I say. But anyone who is over is just treated as temporary family. No one will mind that you're here. I'm surprised my mom hasn't come in to invite you for dinner yet.
Is my clan affiliation a problem?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I don't think so. I've never heard anyone talk badly about your clan. Well, not any more badly than the things I've said so far. I suddenly feel very ashamed. I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Oh, that's totally fine. I've heard a much worse. Believe me.
We walk down the stairs back to the living room, and Peter has already decided for himself that he wants to watch the romantic comedy. I'm about to complain, but Star claps her hands and hops onto the couch next to Peter.
Oh, I love this movie.
It is very cute.
Says Peter.
I also love getting a chance to look at all this gorgeous Scottish scenery.
Have you ever been to Scotland?
Star asks. Peter
Not
laughs.
yet. Not yet, but I am actually applying to the Royal College in Edinburgh for my master's degree.
Oh, that's really cool.
Thank you. I'm relieved to know that the upper levels of music stardom think I'm cool.
She laughs awkwardly, uncertain if Peter is joking or not. I punch him in the arm. Leave her alone, I say.
How can I improve my comedy if you won't let me practice?
Practice on Marcos. I'm sure he won't mind. Peter leans over to Star.
Marcos is my boyfriend.
He clarifies.
Oh, let me see.
Peter fishes out his phone and finds a picture of the two of them on his camera roll. I sit back and marvel at how easily Star gets along with my brother. She's only been here in the room for 30 seconds, and he's already spilling out the entirety of his personal life to her. But I don't think it has anything to do with her powers. I think it's just how Star is. And that realization makes me smile. Melody Starlight, the girl I admire, is part of Star.
So it turns out that the man who I thought was my translator was actually my limo driver. He didn't speak English at all, so he was just making up things to everyone I talked to.
Star says. The entire table laughs.
Anyway, that's when I decided to start using an app to learn Korean. Now, every time I'm about to go to a new country to tour, I'll make sure I'm at least conversant in the language.
Star has just finished the last of many tour stories. After we got through about 3/4 of the romantic comedy, Mom finally realized that Star was here. Of course, she was instantly invited to dinner, where my family unashamedly asked her endless questions about being a famous musician. I was embarrassed at first, but soon realized it was better to ask about her pop star life than her clan life. Besides, she doesn't seem to mind the questions at all. Dinner is pretty much over at this point. We knew Daniel wasn't going to be home, and Henry never showed up no matter which of us texted him, or how many times. So it's just the five choice and Star,
What's your favorite country?
asked James.
Italy, for sure. I spent a lot of time there in my childhood.
Star says.
I try to get there as often as I can for tours, or just on vacation. Ah, yes.
My dad says.
I love Italy, especially Cinque Terre.
I didn't know you went to Italy, I say. My dad grins.
Oh, yes. Your mother and I went there right before Daniel was born. We were on our way back from Korea and had a layover in Milan. We loved it so much we decided to spend an extra 2 weeks there.
Yes, it was very romantic.
My mom says. The two of them stare at each other lovingly and reach their hands across the table. I can't help but smile. My parents are often too tired to show any romantic affections for each other. I'm also continuously in shock at how Star seems to bring out that brightness and joy in people.
Let me help you clear the table.
Star says.
No.
My mom says.
You are our guest. It wouldn't do.
Yeah, cleaning up is my job, I say.
Nah, I got it.
James says, getting up from his seat.
I'll help too,
Says my dad.
You girls go relax.
Star looks at me for confirmation. I shrug and get up, heading for the back door. She follows and we sit down at the patio outside.
I didn't know you had a pool.
Star says.
Feel like a relaxing swim?
I grimace. The pool is more for conditioning and shock training. It's not heated. In fact, my dad won't even cover it. He wants it as cold as possible.
You don't think I can handle a little shock training?
Be my guest, but I'm telling you, it's freezing. She walks to the edge to dip a toe in. While she does, I glance through the window. My family is all huddled together in the kitchen, cleaning up.
Wow, that is cold. Thanks for the warning.
Hey, did you put some sort of family happiness spell on them?
No, why?
James and Dad don't usually clean up, that's all.
I'm just glad they didn't throw me out the minute they realized I was there.
She says with a shrug. Yeah, that is good. It's starting to get dark, so I switch on the paper lanterns that we had set up for the engagement party. Star sits on a chaise lounge and stares up at the sky.
When that bull attacked us, I thought we were dead. I don't mean to be insulting, but you're a lot stronger than you look.
It's not insulting. I was surprised I pulled it off myself, I say.
It was really amazing.
She says.
Do you know what would have happened if you were another Arkezi? You would have done everything you could to use your power to protect Andrew, while simultaneously trying to use the bull to get rid of me.
That bull could have killed you, I say.
That wouldn't have stopped a competing Arkezi. But you protected us both.
I shrugged. not sure how to respond to what she's saying. I don't even know why she's saying it. I I just didn't want anyone to get hurt, that's all. You've been open and honest and well, sweet, I guess. But even if you weren't and you were completely out to get me, I would still protect you. You're a person after all, I say. Star whispers so quietly, I'm not sure I'm meant to hear what she says, but I do.
I was right about you.
I'm about to ask what she means by that when she sits up in her chair and faces me. She takes my hands.
Jane, I trust you entirely with my life. Always remember that, no matter what happens.
You're starting to worry me a little bit, Star, I say.
Don't be.
She says.
I'm just being a little dramatic.
Okay, I say. She says such a nice thing to me that I feel awkward not replying with something meaningful. So I say, I wish that we hadn't met in different circumstances. I wish Andrew didn't have to come between us.
Who says he has to?
What do you mean?
Well, we are all members of the spirit world, as well as the mortal world. Our lives are always going to be different from everyone else. So why can't our relationships?
I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at.
Just that perhaps there's a way for the three of us to stick together.
She says. She leans forward, bringing her face closer to mine.
Or am I not pretty enough for you?
I'm completely frozen in that moment, my cheeks blushing, my mind in so much shock that I can barely form a single thought. She laughs moments later, releasing my hands and stands up.
You're so cute.
She says. She takes out her phone from her pocket and checks the time.
It's getting late, and you have school tomorrow. I better go.
Don't say I like it. It makes me sound extra childish. She laughs.
I have things to do tomorrow, too.
That's right, I say. You have a date with Andrew.
Yes, I'm still trying to figure out what we should do, though. Any ideas?
Not really. We always end up hanging out at his house.
You've been to his house?
This surprises me. Yeah, you haven't?
No.
I'm sure he'll invite you over soon, I say. She shrugs. I walk her to my front door. She says goodbye to my family, and I go with her to her cherry red Tesla waiting in the front. She gives me her phone number before she leaves and then heads off. I stand by the sidewalk for a long moment staring at the blank spot where her car was. I have no idea what just happened, but I feel like it was important. I wish I were smart enough to understand all the weird clues that Star seems to be dropping at me. Were they clues? Maybe I'm reading too much into this. I go back inside. To my surprise, my dad is sitting at the kitchen table, alone. The rest of my family is nowhere to be seen.
Jane, we need to talk.
Okay. I sit down across from him.
What you did was very nice tonight,
He says.
but I don't think you should spend much time with her. You definitely cannot invite her back to the house.
Shock rips through me. What? What are you talking about?
She's an Archezi.
My dad says. And she was really nice to us, I say.
I know.
You asked her a million questions. You laughed at her stories. You did what you always do. Treat our guests like they are family.
I know, because that was the right thing to do. But the Archezi don't always do the right thing in return. We don't know why she was here.
She came to get to know me better, I say. I can feel my anger rising, so I take a slow breath through my nose to keep it in check.
That's what she told you. But why would she do that?
Maybe she's just a nicer person than the rest of us.
Jane.
My dad starts. No, I'm so tired of this. I have no control over anything in my life. First, you make me do this betrothal to Andrew, telling me to handle the situation as best as I can. Then when I can try to handle that situation, you start meddling again.
I'm trying to keep you safe, Jane.
I think it's a little too late for that. My dad does his best to keep his face passive, but I can tell I hurt him. I can tell that he's thinking about the spirits that attacked us, about the fact that the clan can't do anything more to keep me safe, and that maybe if he had been stronger than I wouldn't be in this position to begin with. A small part of me feels bad, but my indignation is much too strong right now,
I don't want to see her at this house again.
he says with a finality. Fine. I stomp upstairs. The next morning, I'm listening to Fernanda tell me about a crazy weekend at her uncle's place. I'm only half listening because I can't shake the thoughts running in my head. Star, my dad, the clan, my complete ineptitude surrounding my own romantic life. I'm so angry I could punch a hole through the wall.
If you need to talk about something, we can.
Fernanda says. No, it's fine. I want to hear your stories.
I'm afraid I don't have many more stories to tell you. Unless you want to hear about my Tio's foot surgery, and I didn't want to hear about my Tio's foot surgery.
Sorry, I say.
Don't be. Does this have to do with your situation with Andrew?
Yeah, it's gotten complicated, and my parents are being completely unreasonable about it.
Jane, only you would make dating seem so stressful. It's supposed to be fun, you know?
It is fun sometimes. It's just all the stuff in between that stresses me out. The weird stuff that nobody else has to go through. I wish I could tell her just how weird the weird stuff is. In fact, I'm about to let everything out, but before I can, she grabs me by the shoulders and turns me around.
I bet he can take your mind off it.
She says. Tristan is entering the school gate. Why do you keep pushing Tristan? Did you not like Andrew?
I don't know.
She says.
I don't know Andrew. I don't know Tristan that well either, but I know him better than the stranger in Alexis.
So your solution to my boy problems with Andrew is to think about a completely different boy?
If you want me to stop, I will. But you haven't asked me to do that, so that tells me that you haven't completely put Tristan out of the picture.
The problem with best friends is that you can't really hide anything from them. She's right. There is a part of me that wants to throw the spirit stuff away and just pursue a relationship with Tristan. You're assuming that he wants. That's what he wants, I say.
I'm pretty sure he wants you.
She says.
Look, he's coming over right now.
Tristan strides over to me. With every step, he looks more and more delectable. He's dressed casually, but in the same way that an Instagram model dresses casually. His long black hair is tied into a messy bun. He slides his arm around my shoulders, turns me into the hallway. It's a smooth move, and my heart is fluttering from his touch. He smells like sandalwood. I look around for Fernanda, but she's already gone. Maybe she should think about becoming a spy,
I have it all planned out.
he says with a grin. You have what all planned out?
Our ditch day.
Oh, right. I'm still not sure I want to go through with it, I say.
What if I told you the plan was absolutely foolproof?
I would say that only fools believe things are foolproof. He laughs.
Then I will not treat you as a fool. Allow me to go through the plan.
He hands me an envelope.
There are 2 sets of documents inside this envelope. One is a field trip permission slip for your parents to sign that allows you to go to an educational outdoor excursion. The other document is a signed medical form from a doctor explaining to the school that you were out with a bad stomach flu.
I open them. They seem legitimate. Frighteningly so. Are you taking up a career in forgery?
There really isn't any harm in this. The school won't call your home because they already have a medical note. Your parents won't care that you missed class because they will think you're on a field trip.
To an outdoor excursion, I say.
Yes, and none of that is untrue. You are going on an outdoor excursion and you are sick. Of school.
I roll my eyes.
It's the perfect crime.
He says. I have to hand it to him. It does sound pretty foolproof. I mean, if either the school or my parents look into it at all, the whole thing will fall apart. But that's sort of the beauty of the plan. It's so bold and mundane that no one is going to bother looking into it. Everyone has way more important things to do with their time. Still, the idea makes me nervous. I don't break that many rules, and the idea of getting caught either by my parents or the school is terrifying. But there's a part of me that's also very excited. This sounds like exactly what I need right now. I need to get away from my stupid English paper and my clueless father and my guardian boyfriend and his superstar girlfriend. I need some fun. And if I'm being honest with myself, I want to do this for 9th-grade Jane. She got her heart trampled on, and I can get what she wanted. Which is, I guess, what I want. I think part of me still has feelings for him. Guess you'd better tell me what to wear, I say, slipping the envelope into my backpack. He actually jumps into the air, pumps his fist, and yells.
Woo!
I grab his arm to try and pull him down to his senses, but it's too late. Everyone's looking at us. You are such an embarrassing dork, I say with a giant smile.
I'll tell you what to bring on Wednesday.
Tell me now, what if I need to buy something new? He thinks that over for a second and has a very sly grin.
Well, that's a pretty good point, especially since you're going to need a swimsuit.
Seriously? The bell rings. He adjusts the straps of the backpack and leans in to give me a tight hug.
I gotta skip first period. They want me in the office, but I'll catch you later.
He saunters off while I'm filled head to toe with butterflies. Yeah, see you later, I whisper. As he appears, Fernando reappears.
Sorry. The Zoom completely flipped out on me. Okay, sorry. Okay, mandatory that you buy a new swimsuit. The one you have sucks. And I'm not letting you ruin your dream date with your poor fashion sense.
Where the heck were you? Were you following us? And how do you know we're going to the beach?
Where else could it be? He's not going to take you to the local community pool. And if he does, text me and I'll take you somewhere better.
We head to class laughing. I'm so busy thinking about Tristan's ditch day that I completely forgot that Monday is our first group date. In fact, I had forgotten all about it until I saw Andrew's car waiting by the curb after school. When I walk over to it, the passenger window rolls down and Star sticks her head out.
Hey,
She says with a big smile.
you ready to go, or do you need to stop at home first?
I try to check out Star's outfit through the window, wondering if I needed to up my game. Then I realized that between her natural fashion sense and piles of money, there's nothing I could do to compete anyway. I at least look presentable in my athletic pants and tank top. Do I need to wear something special, like a winter coat or rock climbing shoes? Star laughs.
No, we're not doing something quite that extreme. You look great as you are. Hop in.
I pull open the back passenger seat and slide in. Andrew looks at me in the mirror.
Hi.
He says. I think I hear his voice crack. I remember he was a cautious driver the last time, but he looks absolutely paranoid this time. He puts the car into gear and we move smoothly into the traffic.
How was your day?
Star asks from over her shoulder. Fine, I say. I frown. Sitting back here alone, I feel like they're my parents.
That's great to hear. Do you like golf? The miniature kind, not the boring 10-hour event.
Star says.
Hey, I like golf.
Andrew says. I'm fine with miniature. I've never played real golf, I say.
You're not missing much.
Star says.
Oh, come on, you're making fun of the one sport I'm halfway decent at.
Andrew says with a mock disappointment. It's been a while since I've been to King of Club's Castle Golfing Arcade. I think I was 12 or 13 the last time I was here, but I have to admit that I had that same thrill walking through the door that I did years ago. The 1.5 billion arcade sound effects, the lights, the mixed smell of cheap pizza and chlorine from the water features, it all makes me feel young and light. Star must be suppressing her superstar magnetism because nobody comes running for selfies. She does insist on paying for our golf, then convinces the guy to let us pick our ball colors. Andrew takes blue, I take green, she takes pink. I can't tell we're being intentionally symbolic by picking our spiritual energy colors, or if it's just a coincidence.
Easy, medium, or hard?
Star asks when we get to the first walkway. There are 3 courses apparently.
You keep making fun of my golf abilities, but I'm warning you, my putt game is strong. We go easy, and I'll destroy the both of you.
Andrew says with the biggest grin I've ever seen on him.
Ooh, feisty. What do you say, Jane?
I spin my club around in a cool sword-like flourish. I can't back down from a challenge,
Don't mess around with the clubs,
calls the 20-something manager from the counter. Sorry, I say back. The first 3 holes were pretty easy. A bounce angle, a bridge, then a 3-way tunnel where you had to guess which one would land you in the most optimal spot. Holes 4 and 5 were trickier because the gimmicks started coming out. Hole 4 had a haunted house where you went up the center ramp and in through the front door. You could get a hole in one. If you missed though, and you landed in the graveyard, it was a lot harder to get out. Hole 5 was a weird mound that you had to get the ball over, but if you hit it too hard, it went flying off the course. The mound also had a bunch of weird lumps on it. I think it was supposed to look like a turtle, but it's been worn down over the years. At hole 6, I look over to Andrew, who has his nose on the scorecard while he's making marks with a tiny golf pencil. I've never played with anyone who actually keeps score during miniature golf.
You're only 2 strokes behind me, Jane.
Andrew says. Naturally, I say, flexing my muscles.
Star, you're showing a good effort.
We both look at Star. She's trying not to look sad, but I can tell she's embarrassed.
I didn't know you two were going to take it so seriously,
she says.
Hey, it's okay. You're just not quite swinging the club correctly.
Andrew says.
I could show you if you want.
She says.
Okay,
she says, brightening up. Andrew walks with her across the bridge that goes over one of the water features to the beginning of the next hole. I stay behind to watch. It's a romantic scene. The lights in the water feature make it sparkly and blue, and despite some of the aging course obstacles, the decorations are beautiful. A lot of sparkly lights are draped on the bushes and the railings. A love ballad floats in the background from speakers hidden in the bushes. And then there's Andrew, nestled behind Star, arms wrapped around her. They sway back and forth as she tries to show her the proper follow-through for a putt. They laugh. I don't know why, but I feel really insecure that moment. I feel like I'm intruding and that maybe I should sneak back out through the arcade and run home. But I also know that would cause a lot more drama than would be necessary. The two of them look good together, and I'm once again confronted with the tremendous ocean of amazingness that is Star and the life she can offer.
She's stealing your guy?
Says a female voice. I spin around. There's a girl standing about a foot away from me. She's about my age, but I don't recognize her. She has blonde hair cut in a bob, with a streak of blue in the front locks. She's holding a golf club and is wearing a windbreaker. I glance at the windbreaker and feel a sudden dread. She's wearing a school windbreaker. It's blue with a golden embroidered knight on the front, our school mascot. Underneath her windbreaker is a t-shirt that says Spike Sirens, which is the unofficial name for the girls' volleyball team. Great. She recognizes me, but I don't recognize her. Was she on the team at the same time as me? Maybe a 10th grader who was on JV? My mind is searching frantically, but I can't think of it. Sorta? I say. It's a pretty complicated situation.
It always is with love, isn't it?
The volleyball girl says. She sighs and tips her head to look at Andrew and Star.
They're a cute couple, though, and she's hot. I get why you're worried.
Gee, well, this has been a great talk, but...
Wait, sorry. I didn't mean it to come out like that, especially talking to you. I'm kind of a fan of yours.
Well, you know, it's no big deal, I say, trying to look casual. It feels nice to be admired, though, especially since it's been a whole year since I quit the team. I didn't think anyone still talked about my volleyball skill, other than the story of me breaking the net. And that had kind of transformed into an urban tale that most people didn't believe.
Not a big deal. It absolutely is. Nobody would ever have thought you could have done what you have up to this point. Certainly nobody I've talked to recently. We all thought that you would have died at the promenade, but here you are, still pushing forward.
What? I say. Her hands reach out and grips my wrist, and then I feel it. She's not a student. She's a spirit. Her energy is cold and hungry, and I feel like my life force is starting to slowly seep out of my skin into her fingertips. Her eyes, which were piercing blue before, now have a hint of glowing purple.
They're going to turn and look here any second now. Tell them that I'm a friend from school and that you'll catch up with them.
The volleyball spirit says in an even tone.
Listen, Jane, we both know that the Haruk goes straight to violence, but that wouldn't be smart. For starters, my disguise isn't going to fall apart at the first blow, so all anyone is going to see is one teenage girl punching another. Secondly, look over your left shoulder towards the windmill, slowly.
I slowly turn my head and follow the windmill. Standing at the beginning of the hole is Fernanda, dressed up, and a handsome guy with dark hair, defined cheekbones, and an easy smile. Ugh, crap, just her type, I mutter.
Yes, he's my partner. And if you do anything drastic, he's going to swallow her whole soul in less than 10 seconds.
When I punch you, I'm going to make it hurt, I growl.
Now, control your temper,
she says sweetly.
Jane?
Andrew calls out from across the bridge. I look up at him and Star, who are looking at me perplexed. I pause for the briefest moments. I feel the spirit's finger digging deeper into my wrist, but it's worth the risk. Star has to have some sort of illusion immunity, right? She has to be able to see the spirit's true nature.
Jane,
the volleyball spirit warns. Just ran into a friend from school, I call back. I'll catch up. Andrew shrugs. Star lingers looking at me for a moment, but then turns away, taking Andrew by the arm and beginning the next hole.
Very good,
the spirit says, releasing my wrist.
You know, the guardian is a lot more attractive than I was led to believe. I will enjoy seducing and consuming him.
Seduce. Consume. Star couldn't see past her disguise. I didn't even recognize her as a spirit until she touched me. This tells me a lot about the spirit. Is dressed in the right clothing, spoke with the right cadence, and had even taken the time to figure out what school I went to and what team I was part of. This is a spirit used to existing in the mortal world. A stalker spirit? A hunter? A succubus? An assassin? I stretch out my arms above my head, using the putter to help keep my shoulders locked. She lets go of my wrist, but she's still less than a foot away from me. I don't get this plan. I didn't know you were a spirit until you touched me. If you wanted to attack Andrew, you could have done it without me realizing. Why are you alerting me to your presence?
It's my nature,
she replies. She says this as both a fact and regret. Is it also your nature to try and consume the guardian's energy? Why would you want it?
What kind of ridiculous question is that? Any spirit that could gather even a little bit of the guardian energy would transcend into something greater than they are now. I could become a goddess.
Some other players are headed towards our spot next to the bridge, so the volleyball girl motions for me to cross the bridge. We walk side by side as if actual friends. I have the putter draped across my shoulder now. You know my school, you know my situation, you even know who my best friend is. Whoever you are, you're working, you must be very clever and very thorough.
Indeed,
she replies. Then what makes you think that they're going to let you keep the energy once you get it? You're the third attack. You know that the other two didn't end up so well, so well for the spirits that did them. You're just another pawn in your master strategy.
Silence,
she hissed, her cute volleyball player visage twisting into a snarl.
You have no idea what you're talking about. That being thinks they manipulated me into helping him, but he underestimated me and my partner. It is we who have manipulated him into leading us straight to the Guardian. Once we have the power, there'll be nothing that can stop us.
We get to the beginning of the sixth hole, staring down at a miniature freeway, complete with a few model cars. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a purple golf ball and sets it down on the rubber mat. I look towards the windmill. Fernanda and her date are laughing. Damn it. I wish I had paid more attention to what was going on with her. I might have seen this coming. Fernanda had gone on the medium-ranked course. The freeway hole was on a small hill that overlooked the windmill. The hill was covered with thick shrubs to discourage people from cutting from one course to the other. I need a plan. Going from the top of the hill down to Fernanda was an impossible jump, but it would be awkward. I'd have to land and attack within 10 seconds if the volleyball spirit was telling the truth. Fernanda was definitely going to notice me punching her date. She was definitely going to notice when her date evaporated, and that was going to be a difficult conversation. But for now, I would settle for keeping her alive. But if I leave the volleyball spirit unattended, would she go straight for Andrew? Would Star realize and be able to protect him? I could land a strike on the volleyball spirit. If I hit her hard enough, she'd turn into a spirit energy and evaporate before anyone noticed, and then I could jump down. But could I do it fast enough? What if I missed my attack on the volleyball girl? I could finish it with a follow through, but under 10 seconds? My heart pounds against my ribs. I can only guarantee safety for one of them, Andrew or Fernanda. Damn. The volleyball girl puts her ball. It bounces off some cards, which honk in reply. I'm surprised the electronic gimmicks on this hole still work. So, if it's in your nature to tell me you're here, what do you want from me? To give up? To let you have the guardian?
That would make it easier if I would let you live.
I swing my club off my shoulders. The girl takes a step closer to me, hand raised as if to grab me. But when she realizes that I'm not about to clobber her with it, she lowers it. She's really on her guard. I put my green ball on the rubber mat, take aim, and putt. My ball goes further and is in a way better positioned than hers. How can I trust you?
I don't want your energy. I could have had it already if I wanted it.
But you could still kill me.
Yes.
And you will if I don't cooperate, I say.
Yes.
That's not much of a guarantee, I say. I motion for her to take her next shot. It gets a little closer. I take my turn and get the ball into the hole on the next shot. It takes her 2 more shots. While she takes her last shot, I glance over at Fernanda and her date again. The guy is leaning on his putter, watching as Fernanda chases her ball around the green. They're almost done with the windmill hole.
From what I understand, you barely know the Guardian. You didn't sign up to go out with him and have his kids. Maybe, or from my point of view, I'm giving you a way out, she
says. By killing him, I say.
No one would blame you. My kind are difficult to detect, and you're just a young girl. It happened too quickly, you will say. By the time you realized it, he was already gone. Everyone will believe you because the clans will spend all their energies blaming themselves and each other. Mortals are easy to protect. To understand them, all you have to do is figure out what their nature is and then think about how they will torture themselves fighting it.
Mortals just want the same thing you do, to better ourselves, I say.
You better yourselves by limiting yourselves. That is not the same thing at all.
We pick up our balls. Hole 7 is across another bridge, and I can see at this point that Andrew and Star are waiting for us. I look over my shoulder. Fernanda and her date have finished and are strolling along the path towards the next hole. What happens when we get to the end of the bridge? I ask.
You either excuse yourself and let me do what I need to do, or you die along with Yarkezi girl right here and now.
Not a lot of time to think about it, I say. Can we walk a little slower? She glares at me. Just thought I'd ask, I say, setting my golf club on the railing of the bridge. I'll go. I'll make up some lame excuse. I don't want to see it, okay? Can you at least wait until I turn around?
Wise decision, Jane Choi.
I slip my hands into my pocket. I assume you'll let my friend go. I'm going to need her to let me process all of this.
Yes, her energy is even less useful than yours,
the volleyball spirit says with a sneer. My heart is pounding again. Every footstep on the wooden bridge rumbles like thunder. It feels like we're walking forever. I have to time this just right. It has to be perfect. And I need a little luck, too. Just a little. Come on. Look up. Please. Start, look up. Oops! I yell. I dive at the volleyball spirit, charging with all of my strength. We both crash into the railing. My left hand grips onto her windbreaker while my right raises above my head. The ribbon unfurls in my fingers, suddenly awakened by the soulfist energy now running through my hands. The volleyball spirit has dug her fingertips into my cheek and is pulling my face towards her. Her eyes are bright purple now, and her touch is icy. I feel the soulfist energy is flowing into my body, spinning through the wheel in my belly, but is exiting through my face into her fingers. She's sucking out the power as fast as I can gather it.
Fool, die! Now die!
She kisses me. She holds the kiss for a long time. It feels like an eternity because with each passing moment, I feel my spiritual energy being drawn out of my body. It feels like the wheel in my belly is out of control, spinning faster and faster, releasing a combination of both soulfist energy and my actual soul. I feel cold, and the world is going dimmer around me. Fortunately, I didn't need spiritual energy, just gravity. I push up just a little more and we tip over the edge of the bridge. This bridge wasn't over a water feature, but over the walkway for the medium level course. Nothing but hard cement is waiting for us at the bottom, and the volleyball spirit must have realized it because her concentration falters. Her lips break from mine, her hands release me, scrambling instinctively for something to grab onto. I take a deep breath. The imaginary wheel spins brighter, surging in as much soul fist energy as my body can take in. The relief flooding through me is like when you come up from underwater at the last second. The world brightens, my strength returns, and my reflexes are turned up to 11. The volleyball spirit does find something to grab. The ribbon wraps around her hand, then snakes away around her arms, then her entire torso. I have a hand on the ribbon too, just to slow my fall. I land on the ground, and the volleyball spirit is hanging upside down like a low-ranking baddie in a Spider-Man movie. But she's not the only one. When I held up the ribbon, I sent a command for it to fly in both directions. The other end of the ribbon snaked down the opposite side of the bridge and ensnared the other stalker spirit, Fernanda's date. They were hanging there, counterbalancing each other over the bridge. Hey, look at that! A 2-for-1 deal, I say, cracking my knuckles. I watch them sway back and forth, taking in a deep breath. I'm still dizzy from getting all that energy sapped out of me, but I have enough concentration to end this. I've been practicing the Guardian Fist every spare second I can, and it's time to see if the practice pays off. I rev up the wheel. I stop it. The energy fills into my stomach in a sharp, nauseating pain. When the two spirits sway into range, I strike with both fists, punching them both. I release the energy. A blast of green light explodes out of my knuckles. In the blink of an eye, the two good-looking teenagers are gone, replaced by a rapidly disappearing purple mist. Gotcha, I whisper. I mutter. Sudden exhaustion takes me over, and I fall over to one knee.
Jane?
Fernanda says.
What?
You know, What?
I think that's you.
You know, those spirits really knew their stuff. It was all really convincing. The clan training is right. You really do need to be excessively paranoid about spirits.
What are you talking about?
Fernanda says.
Jane, what is all this?
You see, I say, standing up, there is only 2 things that went wrong. The first is when Fernanda's freaked out. She cusses in Spanish.
Jane, you're scaring me.
The second is when I jumped up and had eye contact with Star. She saw me jump. She's an Arcasey, so the first thing she would do is hide me from the rest of the mortals. I point. Fernanda looks behind her. The area under the bridge is coated in a dreamy pink haze. Mortals shouldn't be able to see me, I say. The ribbon hisses quietly as it coils back in my hand. Fernanda turns and runs. I snap the ribbon out, wrapping it tightly around her left arm. Fernanda turns, holding her right hand out like a karate chop. She slashes it into her left shoulder, severing her arm. Purple mist erupts from the opening of her body, but she doesn't even slow down. Damn it! I yell. I force more soul fist energy in my legs and start running after her. The ribbon retracts back into my hand while the Fernanda spirit's arm evaporates on the ground. The spirit shoves its way through several other golfers, eliciting some cries. I shove through the opening she makes, slowly gaining ground on her. I hear my phone ringing in my pocket. I pull it out and manage to swipe to answer it.
Jane, are you okay?
Andrew says, "There's a third one. I'm going to run it down and get some answers."
No, Jane, it's dangerous. Come back.
No, I'm tired of playing defense. I'm ending this to keep us all safe. The Fernanda spirit makes it into the arcade and turns sharply to the left. I take the turn better than she does. I'm less than 2 feet away from her.
Jane, please just come back. Wait for Star, at least, please.
They were going to kill you right now, Andrew, and me, and Star. He doesn't answer.
Don't die.
he whispers. I hear his voice crack, and for a second my resolve falters. Maybe he's right. Maybe I don't need this. It could be a trap. If there are 3 of them, there could be 4, or 5, or a whole pack of jackals, or another bull waiting for me. This could all be part of the plan. I won't, I say. The Fernanda spirit jumps into a novelty photo booth. I skid to a stop and tear open the curtain. She's vanishing into the wall, melting into a crack of light. Most of her body is gone, with only half of her face and her right arm visible. She's going into the spirit world, I yell into the phone. I drop it, then grab onto her arm. I close my eyes, focusing on my breathing, and fill myself with as much spiritual energy as I can. Then I jam my fingers into the crack and lean. The best way I can describe falling into the spirit world is that reality seems to turn inside out. For a split second, all the colors in the world are wrong. Like when you set a camera to the negative mode and you get that crazy color mixture. And then the shapes are gone, melting all into a single point of light. For a moment, it feels like being shoved into a box. Then it feels like your body is gone. You're just a collection of thoughts. And then it all comes back in painful clarity. I hit grass. I leap to my feet, fists raised. I'm in a field, not like a cornfield or a wheat field, but a natural grassy plain, like the Serengeti in Africa. The world here has a yellow hue to it, and there are white motes of light floating in the air. I hear a moan and watch as the stalker spirit rises from the ground. No longer in the mortal world, it sheds off its Fernanda skin and is now a humanoid figure of dark purple shadows. It is still missing its left arm and is hobbling away from me. Who sent you? I yell after it. Who is doing this? Tell me! The ground rumbles beneath my feet. Before I can figure out its cause, a huge dark shadow crashes in front of me. The hulking figure cuts off the retreating stalker spirit and grasps it in a giant hand. It brings the spirit up to its massive jaws and chomps down on it. I can hear it swallow from here.
The one who sent these spirits, Jane Choi of the Haru clan, was me.
That shadow says. I feel my jaw drop as I stare at the most terrifying spirit I've ever seen. The spirit sort of looks like Bowser from Super Mario, but his skin and scales are black. He's giant, at least 11 or 12 feet tall. He has a turtle shape that stands on his back legs. He has a massive shell that shines with an inky darkness. His hair is a bright orange flame that twists and turns on top of his skull, making his red eyes all the more intimidating. His thick arms are covered in a mixture of leather bands, bits of armor, and scars. He has massive claws at least a foot long. Around his waist is a leather belt with a number of strange trinkets hanging from them. The most striking feature about this spirit, however, is the cracked pattern all across his body. There are lines on his back, on his blank form that glows bright turquoise, all converging on a single point on his shell, right above his shoulder. I can't feel his presence the way I can in the mortal world. The spirit world is made up of spiritual energy, so trying to sense an individual spirit here is like trying to feel a squirt gun in a rainstorm. Still, there's a presence about him. He's different. I know it instinctively. I've made a huge mistake. Why? I demand.
I was like you once, young and impatient. That's how I got this.
He says, tapping his claws at the cracked lines across his body. I'm not interested in getting lectured by a turtle, I say.
I am known as Krell. I am a spirit of pride and ambition. It is my nature to become greater than I am now.
You sound like the stalker spirits right before I destroy them. Krell laughs. It's a terrible laugh that is too low for my ears to understand. It rattles my ribs and shakes me to the core.
I like you. In the face of fear, you use aggression. It gives you a sense of control.
You have to know that it won't work. Even if you take Andrew, he doesn't have any guardian power. The Hunter Guardian will find you and finish you off, I say. And if you hurt me, the Haruk will never stop until you've been destroyed.
Calm yourself. I wish only to speak to you for a moment.
Krell lets out a low, droning sound and settles forward onto all fours like an actual tortoise. He then sinks down to the ground, staring at me from within his shell. I guess this is his way of relaxing.
Young Haruk,
He says.
have you ever been expected to do things because that's the way things are?
I frown, but say nothing.
Of course you have. Mortals have a way of creating tradition and expectation to try and create order. They feel in control of society, much like you use aggression to feel in control of this situation. The mortal spirit clans are some of the worst. They guard their powers and their secrets and then condition their young to follow their codes blindly, believing that it gives them more importance and more power.
What could you possibly know about my clan? I say, seething. I feel my fists tightening, and I'm yearning to reach out and grab some of the spiritual energy saturating the air around us.
I know that you were chosen to date the guardian against your will.
That wasn't ideal, I admit, but it worked out. The clan leaders just wanted what's best for the balance of the world.
Ah, yes. Obedience to the clan leaders, the core tenet of every spirit clan. You listen to them because you believe that they have the best interests of the mortal world in mind. But have you ever asked why the leaders are the leaders?
Because they're trusted and have earned our respect, I say.
According to who? The other leaders who will choose people like themselves to replace them? But why stop questioning there? Why have leaders at all? Why not operate the clan equitably? Or let each member of the clan do as they please with the powers they have been given?
Because I don't know, I stammer.
You don't know because there isn't a good reason for it. It's just how things have always been done. No one ever changes it. No one ever challenges it.
I shake my head. I feel frazzled in every sense of the word. I'm hungry and tired and sore, and my energy feels off kilter from being sapped, stored, slammed, and filled to the brim. And now I'm having philosophical debate with a turtle. Is your plan to confuse me to death? I say, with as much sarcasm as I can muster.
I ask questions, Jane. The question that has vexed me the most over the last 100 years is, why do we need a guardian of the two worlds? Everyone agrees it is to keep balance. But balance for who?
I don't know, I say.
For the mortals. The guardian has always been immortal. They have been every flavor of mortal, every size, every gender, every code and creed and belief, but they have always been mortal. Can you imagine how confusing that is for a spirit? The most concentrated and potent spiritual individual's energy source in existence isn't even a spirit.
Krell shifts in his shell, once again rising to his feet. A primal instinct screams at me to run away, but somehow I manage to stay where I'm standing.
It is an imbalance for a mortal to possess that much influence on our world. I would even go so far as to say that it's evil.
We have coexisted peacefully for thousands of years.
Only because spirits are too afraid to challenge the guardian. Our entire world exists in a state of fear. We cannot act upon our natures for fear that we will be erased from existence, our consciousness and memories ruined, while our base energy is returned to the spirit world to be recreated. Was that a peaceful experience, Jane Choi of the Haruk clan? Could you sleep easy at night knowing that if you made one wrong move, you would be destroyed?
A terrifying realization seizes me. You want to be the guardian.
A guardian with the immortality of a spirit. A guardian with thousands of years of experience and wisdom. A guardian that would guide all of existence into a new age. That is what I shall become.
No one will let you do it, I say. The clans will go to war. Other spirits won't abide this either.
I am Krell. I am the most powerful spirit of pride and ambition in all of the spirit world.
He replies, spreading his arms to the side. I've never heard of you, I say.
Precisely.
He bellows a laugh that causes fire to erupt from his nostrils.
I, a spirit of pride, have been slowly accumulating power for thousands of years, and yet few know of me. Few know my name except as legend or myth.
That doesn't make sense. It's a pride spirit's nature to take credit, I say.
Right again. Do you see now, Jane Choi? I am bending my nature. I have become more than I was meant to be. I have already accomplished the impossible. I've been waiting for 50 years for the opportunity to grasp the guardian power and to complete this transformation. I have had that whole time to plan. Do you think stopping me will be as easy as running to your clan and telling them what happened tonight?
He leans in. His breath smells like smoke and ash.
How do I know all that I know? How do I know your name, your clan, your best friend? How do I know all of those things, Jane Choi?
Someone told you, I whisper.
Yes. Haruk, perhaps? An Arkazi? Both of them? Maybe even a member of your own family. Or maybe one of your family members has already been replaced by a stalker spirit. How can you know? After what you have seen tonight, how can you trust anyone around you?
I shut my eyes. And now you kill me.
No, I do not.
I half expect him to incinerate me right then, some sort of sick joke to end my life, as I open my eyes with hope only to get burned into a crisp. But nothing happens. I finally open my eyes.
Your death would cause trouble, and you pose no real threat. In fact, you are open minded for a mortal. Maybe you'll see the wisdom in my words and allow me to do my work without interference.
He turns away from me, each footstep huge and menacing.
No matter what your choice, we will see each other again, unless you fail to survive the spirit world.
He jumps high into the air and curls himself into a tight ball. Then, with an impossible sudden rush of speed, he hits the ground and rolls off into the distance. Before I know it, he's gone. I fall into the grass and cry. It takes about 5 minutes for my body and emotions to settle. I wipe away a few tears, take some deep breaths, and stand up. I'm tired. I want to lie down and take a nap, but doing so in the middle of the spirit world is about as dangerous as that would be in the mortal world. I need to find a way back. The rules for the spirit world are strange. Firstly, geography isn't fixed in the spirit world. If someone were to open a portal at the same photo booth I went through, they might not end up in this field. The spirit world is metaphorical and conceptual, always shifting and changing. Some spirits can pass through the two worlds at a whim. Some, like the stalker spirit I chased down, can do it in certain locations. I suppose it has something to do with the spiritual tension and unity of the two locations, or maybe some other sixth sense that a mortal can't comprehend. Some spirits, and most mortals, can only pass through specific points where the two worlds meet. Those parts are called the gates. It's the Haruk clan's duty to guard and monitor the gates. But because things are always moving around in the spirit world, the Haruk had to develop a method for finding the gates in case they lost their bearings. Most of them required having specific pieces of equipment that I don't have on me. But there is one method that could work if I'm lucky. Unfortunately, I'm standing in the middle of a perfectly flat field. The only thing I can do from here is pick a direction and keep going. I start walking in the opposite direction of Krell. It feels like I've been walking for days. The scene isn't changing at all, no matter how many steps I take. That's normal for the spirit world. It doesn't mean I'm stuck in a loop. Although it also doesn't mean I'm not stuck in a loop. I try not to think about it. I have enough to think about without wondering if I'm going to just starve to death walking around in a circle. Instead, I focus my thought on one thing: Andrew. I want to see him. I want to tell him what happened, even though I know that'll scare him. I also want him to help me figure out what to do. I want him to be logical and systematic and come up with a plan. I want him to hug me. I want him to tell me it's going to be okay. I want to tell him it's going to be okay. Is this love? It's funny, with all this talk about relationships and love, I've never thought about what it actually means to be in love with someone. My parents are in love, but it's kind of a tired love. They push through problems, wrangle the children, and watch TV together at night until dad falls asleep on the couch. Daniel and Hannah are in love. There is this storybook love, the kind that cheesy high school romance stories are based on. I'm sure they have their problems, but I've only ever seen the two of them adoring each other. McAllister Clark and the Hunter Guardian are in love, but I can't even begin to figure out what that looks like. He, a mild-mannered British businessman who can't cook and teach his son how to putt. She, the most powerful spiritual force in existence. That thought reminds me of Krell and his goals. I try to push those all away, not because he's scary, not because he's confusing, but because I think he might be right. The more I think about it, the more I start to wonder if he has a valid point. And that's the one thing I can't let him do. Because even if he's right, it would mean I have to let him kill Andrew. And I can't do that. Because I love him? I've only known the guy a week. I can't love him. That's a stupid teenager thing to do. Fall in love quickly, right? People are always warning against it. And yet most people meet by dating apps these days. I don't know. All I know is that right now, tired, scared, and confused, I don't want to see my family. I don't want to see Fernanda. I don't want to see Tristan or Star or the Guardian. I want to see Andrew. Did I really have to almost die to get this kind of clarity?
Hello?
A small voice calls out. I stop and turn. There's a small creature standing nearby. He's standing on two legs and is vaguely bear-shaped. He's got to be 3 feet tall and has a cute pink nose. He's also holding a long bamboo fishing pole that has to be at least 8 feet long. He's the most adorable spirit I've ever seen. Hi, I say.
Are you lost?
What makes you say that? I reply. It's almost best to answer a spirit's question with a question. A lot of spirits are into riddles, but also sometimes answering a spirit directly can give them power over you. You gotta feel these things out.
You're immortal.
It says. It has a really cute voice. Yes, that's true, but I know what I'm doing around here. I didn't fall in by accident or anything. He shrugs. My name is Jane, I say.
You can call me Maki.
He says.
Are you a Haruk? You smell like a Haruk.
I didn't know the Haruk had a smell.
Everything has a smell. Most people don't notice, but I do.
You must be very clever, I say.
Not really. Just good at smelling things. You want to find your friend?
I frown. There's another Haruk nearby?
Yes, not far from here.
I almost cry, but I take a deep breath instead. I have to keep composure in front of a strange spirit. Emotions are a very powerful spiritual connection, and it is not wise to let them loose in front of a spirit you don't know. Yes, I'd like to find them, I say, as calmly as possible. Can you point the way?
I'll take you. I have nothing else to do right now. I was going to go fishing, but I can't seem to find the lake.
Machi spins around, surveying the endless field. He shrugs and tosses the fishing rod onto the ground.
Let's go.
It takes about a dozen steps for the world to change around me. The endless field ends, and now I'm walking through a forest of black pine trees. I'm not sure if I would have ended up here on my own, or if this is somehow under Machi's influence. There's really no way to tell in the spirit world. But regardless, Machi is humming a little song as he bounces along through the woods. Soon we come to a clearing where I see a camp is set up. There's a simple canvas tent, a small fire, and a bunch of Haruk's standard issue camp gear. Pot, plate, weapons, a lantern, a string of bells, and a clay pot. The Haruk is facing away from us, wearing traditional armor. The armor is designed similar to that of old Korean warriors, with loose black pants and shirts, with plates of armor on the shoulders, arms, and a few plates on the chest. It's a mixture of protection and flexibility. It works pretty well. The standard armor also comes with a headband, which this Haruk is using. Everything in the armor is either black or a tarnished gold color.
Hey, Mr. Haruk, I found your friend.
Machi says.
Friend? I didn't. Oh.
It's Henry. Hi, I say.
What do you want?
To go home, I say. Henry takes a long look at me.
You don't have, well, anything.
I wasn't planning on being here. I don't carry the spirit gear in my purse.
Well, I'd love to help you, but...
Henry, I say. I'm tired. I'm scared. I don't have the right gear. I haven't eaten in hours. I don't know what time it is or even what day it is. I almost died about an hour ago. Like, I almost died 2 days ago. And I really don't know how to process that. And all I want to do is go home. I feel tears. I hate myself for it. I rub them away as fast as I can. Henry turns away, gritting his teeth.
Yeah, I'll take you home. Help me pack up.
I sniffle and nod, glad to have something to do. I turn to Machi. Thanks for helping me, I say, bowing.
You're welcome. Now, where did I put that fishing rod?
Matthew wanders off back into the woods. I hope he gets to go fishing. We pack up the gear quickly. It's all standard issue stuff, so I know how it works, although I'm not allowed to go to the spirit world unsupervised yet. What are you doing here anyway? I ask as I fold the last of his tent.
Clearing my head, trying to get perspective on a few things.
Did you?
Yeah, some. Sorry.
I frown. For what?
I don't know. Just a general sorry. For being me, for being an ass, for not helping you out. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm fine, I say.
No, you're not.
I sigh. No, I'm not. We get up. The only equipment left is a clay pot sitting on the ground between us. I look up at him. You sure you want to use it? I ask.
Yeah, we should get home as fast as possible.
He kicks it. The clay shatters in on itself, and a bright white light rises from the pieces. It's a homing spirit, drawn out from the Hoodoo clan center and sealed in a special jar made from one of the other clans. Its nature is to go back to its home, so by following it, we can find the nearest gate. Homing spirits are pretty expensive to maintain, so we can only use them in emergencies. We follow the homing spirit through the black woods.
You want to, I don't know, talk about it?
Henry asks. I look up at him. You want to know about my love life?
I was more curious about the spirit fighting stuff.
He says.
But I mean, if you really want to talk to me about...
I don't. But thanks for awkwardly offering help, I say, nudging my shoulder against him. I want to tell him more, but Krell's words come echoing back. How do I know who to trust with this? I trust Henry. But is it Henry? I'm certain it is. But what if someone tricked Henry into telling information? Or what if there was a spirit in play that could delve into our thoughts? Or what if it was someone that was watching us? I want to tell you. I can't. I'm sorry. He nods.
It's fine. I get it.
I wish I could tell you. I wish you could all help. The Hoodoo are just stuck in the stalemate with our Casey, and I don't know if they're ever going to figure it out. That just leaves me and Star and Andrew to deal with it.
Star?
Oh, right. You missed that dinner. Let me fill you in. I tell him about Star being an Akazi, careful to keep the information as generic as possible. As we walk and talk, the black pines thin out, and we're walking along a stone bridge. At the end of the stone bridge will be one of the gates, I'm sure of it.
Damn.
Is all Henry says once I'm done explaining everything. Yeah, that's how I feel.
You shouldn't. You're tough and smart, and you're gonna get through this. No sweat.
He's looking dead ahead when he says it, and I can tell he's embarrassed. But he's sincere, and it floods my heart with a sibling love. This is huge coming from Henry, but I don't want to freak him out by making a big deal out of it. Oh hell, who was I kidding? I jump and throw my arms around him. He groans and tries to push me off.
Ugh, gross. Sister hugs.
Thanks, I say. It means a lot for you to say that.
Whatever. It's true. And look, I don't know what the rules are about the situation, but if you're gonna throw down, let me know. I'll be there. Rules be damned.
I release him from my gross sister hug and let out a sigh of relief. Ahead is the gate, a massive wooden gate with braziers alight with green fire on either end. A Haru clansman is standing guard with a spear and waves at us as we approach.
Almost home.
He says, yeah, thank you. And thanks for letting me borrow your phone.
Huh? You didn't... Oh, I get it.
He gives me his phone. I don't have anyone's phone number memorized, so I call my own phone.
Hello?
Andrew says after the first ring. Hey, I say.
Jane?
Yeah, it's me. It's okay. I'm fine.
Oh my god, I was so worried. Where are you?
I'm back at the Haru Clan Center. I'm as safe can be, I promise. Heck, this is my brother's phone. He's standing like 10 feet away from me, glaring at me because I'm using up his battery. This finally gets a small laugh from Andrew. I smile, wishing he could see it. It's like 3 in the morning. What are you still doing up? I ask.
Worrying. I was trying to sleep, honestly, but I couldn't let it go. I started painting miniatures and then tried to read, and none of it worked. I was scared, Jane.
I had it under control. Plus, Star would never let anything happen to you, I say.
I wasn't scared for me. I was scared for you.
There's a long, meaningful pause. I feel like my heart is gonna burst. I'm so raw with emotion and exhaustion that I force myself to take a deep breath before I start confessing my undying love. Everything is okay for now. I have a lot to tell you. Most of it isn't good.
I want to see you.
I'm too tired, I say.
Tomorrow, then.
It's Tuesday. You have a date with Star,
Then I'll cancel. She'll understand, or she can come too.
he insists. No, Andrew. Listen, the contract is specific. I know I've been complaining about the contract since the moment I met you, but right now we need to follow it to the letter. My clan and Star's clan might be in a weird stalemate, but they're both going to be watching us carefully. If something tries to make a move, they might be close enough to help. If we piss them all off, they're going to be spending all of their time arguing with each other. Another pause.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I still hate this.
He says, you can text me later and call me.
I will.
Do you think you'll be able to sleep now? I ask.
I think so.
I wish I could hold you until you fall asleep. I wish I could stroke your hair and hum a song, even though my humming isn't that great. I wish I could massage your shoulders until all the tension evaporated under my touch. I don't see any of that. Good night, Andrew, I say.
Good night, Jane.
I don't remember what happens during the school the next day. I somehow managed to get through it all on autopilot. Fernanda doesn't push me. She can tell I need the space, and she gives it to me. I'm thankful. I'm not sure how much I can talk to her with the memory of her perfect copy slicing her arm off for playing through my head. I'm surprised when a cherry red Tesla pulls up on the curb at the end of my school day. The passenger window rolls down and Andrew sticks his head out at the side.
Get in.
He says. No, it's Star's date night, I say. The driver's door opens and Star steps out, leaning against the top of her car. Her mirrored sunglasses make her look badass.
It's my date. I can do whatever I want with it. What I want to do is talk to you, so get in the car.
I don't want to make anyone mad.
You worry about your clan, I'll worry about mine. Trust me, it's fine.
I nod and get in. To be honest, I'm relieved. I've spent all day trying to figure out Krell's message and meaning, trying to come up with a plan to protect Andrew, and I'm not getting anywhere. I don't know if it's because I'm low on sleep or out of my depths. Probably both. I slide to the center of Star's back seat and lean forward to stick my head between the two of them. Thank you, Star. Really, I mean it.
Don't even mention it. Tell us everything.
She drives. I tell them. It takes a while. By the time I'm done, we're parked in some nondescript strip mall parking lot. The car is still running, but they're both staring at me.
Jane, I'm so sorry.
Star says, grasping my hand. She squeezes tight, and tears start to sparkle in her eyes. Andrew takes my other hand, and holds it warmly. Now that both of my hands are being held, I realize that I'm shaking in my seat. I take a few deep breaths to gain my composure. I'm okay,
No, you're not.
Andrew says. I am. I'm not going to let anything hurt you, Andrew,
This is insane. I can't let you fight this monster.
he says.
We have to do something about this. I need my mom.
Have you managed to reach her?
Star asks. Andrew frowns.
No, I'm actually a little worried. It's never been like this before. She's always contacting me back. She once did it in the middle of slaying a gluttony spirit.
Maybe Krell has manipulated her too, I say.
Okay, hold on, everyone. You're not thinking like an Archesi. I get why, but I think you need to.
Star says. I frown. What do you mean by that?
What I mean is, why are you taking Krell's words as truth?
Andrew and I both look at each other. I guess, I don't know, he seemed pretty powerful, I say.
There's a lot of evidence.
Andrew says.
The attacks have been specifically targeted at me. The one from last night was well coordinated, using weaknesses created specifically for Jane. They used Fernanda for crying out loud. He must know things.
Maybe.
Star says.
But he's a spirit of pride. I've never heard of him, yet he seems to be incredibly powerful. That's not typical of a spirit of pride.
He said he learned to bend beyond his nature, I say.
But is it true?
Star asks. What other explanation could there be? I ask.
Maybe he's not a spirit of pride. Maybe he's a spirit of deception.
I glance over to Andrew, but I can tell we've gone past his knowledge of the spirit world. He's too powerful for that. Raw power. He blew fire and leapt into the air and had enough physical power to crush me with one hand.
Just because someone is deceptive doesn't mean they can't also have power. But there's another possibility. He might be able to create infused illusions.
I frown. I've never heard of that. What is that?
The Archesi Guardian's secret technique. We've only had one Guardian in the Archesi clan, but she created a very important ability, giving illusions life. I can make a fireball appear in my hand, and I could maybe convince you that you are burning. But the moment I release that illusion, it's all gone. The Archesi Guardian could infuse her Guardian energy into the illusion and make it real. It would be real fire burning your real skin, and it would stay even after she stopped concentrating on it.
That's insane, I whisper. That's pretty much unlimited power.
Not quite, but yes, extremely effective.
You said it was a guardian technique.
Andrew says.
A deception spirit couldn't have the same power as the guardian, could it?
You don't need the Guardian power in the spirit world.
Star explains.
If you have enough talent, concentration, and skill, any Archesi could infuse their illusions in the spirit world. And if I can do it, then certainly a spirit could.
Wait, I say. If you can do it? Star grimaces, embarrassed.
Yeah, I can do it.
Who else can?
Well, I think maybe 3 or 4 others can do it.
I blink. You're that powerful?
I may not like the politics of my clan, but I took my training very seriously.
So it could be that Krell is telling the truth, or it could be that he's manipulating us. Let's say for a second that you're right, and he's lying. What is he trying to get us to do?
Andrew asks. Scare me away, I suggest. Get us to abandon you, leave you unguarded.
If he's as powerful as you say he is, he could have done that already. Why doesn't he just come take me now? No offense, you two are amazing, but it sounds like you couldn't stop him.
Andrew says. If Star's theory is right, he might not be as powerful as in the mortal world, I say. That's why he's getting other spirits to do his dirty work.
Then why bother starting out with the jackals? Why not send the stalker spirits right away? Could you have protected me from them if they had been the first attackers?
Andrew asks. I think about that for a moment. Probably not, I admit.
It's almost like... No, that's dumb.
He says.
No, come on. No bad ideas in brainstorming.
Star says.
Tell us.
The first challengers were easy, but they're getting harder and harder. It's like a video game. The first levels are easier because you're getting used to the controls, but as the levels progress, the challenges become more difficult to compensate for your new skill. It's almost like Krell is intentionally making it more difficult over time.
Andrew says. Why? I ask. Andrew and Star look at each other. The look is meaningful, but I have no idea what it's about. Andrew sighs, takes off his glasses, and rubs his face.
It's the guardian power. I don't have it. He's trying to trigger it in me. Maybe he can't draw the power out of me until I have it. Or maybe he wants to make sure my mom starts to lose the power, or probably both.
So he's trying to shock it out of you? I say.
Which is why last night's attack was focused on you.
He says.
You keep stopping them, and my crowning moment of power up isn't happening.
It makes sense.
Star says.
But does that mean we're going back to the original theory that Krell is as powerful as he says he is?
I think it works either way, I say. My head is starting to hurt, so I take some more deep breaths, letting spiritual energy flow along the pathways. It helps me clear my thoughts a little. We need the guardian, I say. Andrew sits up.
We have a guardian.
We all look at each other as the realization settles in. Star puts the car into reverse.
Wow, your house is beautiful.
Star says as we pass through the front gate. Andrew deliberately closes it to activate the wards and protections, and then opens the front door for us.
Thanks. I mean, it's not really my house, but my dad likes it.
Hey, where do you live anyway? Oh.
Hey, where do you live anyway? I ask Star.
Oh, I have a place in the fishing district. You should come by soon. I'd love to have you over.
She says to me. The fishing district? I say. The fishing district was only named that because a lot of fishing used to be done there. The fishing grounds died up decades ago. Now it's just a fancy waterfront property for the super rich. But Star is super rich.
It's not too far. I'll come pick you up and we can get some dinner. I can show you my cool recording space. Oh, and I have a ton of tour stuff you'd love.
Hey, that's not fair, using my found girlness against me, I mutter. She winks. We go through the back door and out to the pool house. Andrew rushes over and pounds on the door.
Grandpa!
No answer. He sighs.
Well, he's probably hanging out with his friends.
He says, fishing around in his pocket to draw out his keys.
I can drive us wherever. Do you know where he usually goes?
Star asks.
We don't have to drive.
He unlocks the pool house front door and steps inside, motioning us to follow.
Close the door behind you, please.
Andrew says to Star. She does, and we start crossing through the whole pool house. Does he hide in the back or something? I ask. Andrew frowns.
What? Oh, you didn't notice?
Notice what?
That the inside of this house is way too big for a pool house.
Now that he mentions it, we have been walking a long time. Soon we're at another door.
You'll see.
He says with a sigh. He opens the door, and when he does, I'm hit with a huge flood of spiritual energy. This is the spirit world, I say, wide-eyed.
Yeah. He keeps his house in it. The pool house is the first few rooms of his house, but then it somehow bleeds into the spirit world. I don't know. He tried to explain it once, but I didn't follow.
Andrew says. We step onto the front porch of a very different world. This area of the spirit world is pastel, with a lot of turquoise and pink swirling through the air. The house, which is looks sort of like a rustic cabin, is in the middle of an evergreen forest. There's a fire pit in the front yard, and there's two people sitting beside it. One is Archer, Andrew's grandfather. The other is a mushroom man. I'm not sure how to explain it other than that. He looks super tall based on the way his long limbs are folded into himself. His head is a friendly mushroom with no eyes or nose, but a visible mouth. The cap of his mushroom head is red with white spots.
So that's when I said, keep the change.
Archer lands his joke because he starts doubling over with the laughter. The mushroom man does too, but when he opens his mouth, it sounds more like a cello being played.
Grandpa.
Andrew calls out. Archer turns to face us, and he's visibly surprised.
What are you kids doing here? This isn't how dating works. Andrew, you're supposed to take them someplace fun and romantic, not your grandfather's front yard.
We have a problem, I say. Archer's face goes from his easy, cunning smile to a mask of stony determination.
I see. We better all have a seat then.
I tell my story again, but I don't have to tell all of it, because the moment I get to Krell, he raises his hand.
Did you say Krell?
Yes, Do you know him? Archer sighs and hangs his head low. The mushroom man, who Archer said was named Kinoko-san, puts out a mushroom hand to pat him on the shoulders.
Yeah, I know him. I thought he was dead. I killed him decades ago.
And that's where we'll end things tonight. Page 151, chapter 27 is where we'll take things off next week. Thank you so much to Autumn Dang, who has performed as Jane Choi through all of this, all 151 pages. And I know that she feels rough when she skips or misses a word, but please, Autumn, you're amazing, and you've done a phenomenal job so far. We cannot wait to see how things develop for the next 130 pages. Tonight, we had a wonderful cast. Everyone got to do a whole bunch of things. So, we had Kerrick Churria as Andrew and James. Was there Daniel tonight too? I don't know, but there was a lot. Paige played Star and Dad and Henry. Velvet Divine as Fernanda and Mom. Not Peter, though. I think Peter was too busy making out with his girlfriend. Marisa Roggeveen as Archer and Skelline and Machi. I hope that Ivy and Hannah come back into the story, but who knows? And Nicole Gapero as Tristan and Krell. That's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for following along and tuning into this very end. We are looking forward to next week so much. So tune in with us, catch up if you haven't yet, and we will see you back next Tuesday at 7:30 Mountain Time.